right, so first of all, thank you again for joining us this morning. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in the car industry?
Great. Well, thank you for coming out. Originally, I started in '99. I was in the restaurant business, and I was working in a restaurant, managing the restaurant, and a gentleman came in and recruited me into the car business for AutoNation back in '99 of October. And I went to go work for AutoNation, and then I was there for about 6 months, and then Lee Seidman owned AutoNation, so we moved over to his Motorcars Toyota store, and 6 months later, I was there till about 2006. In 2006, I got recruited to go open Premier Toyota as the used car manager. I was there for about a year, and then in 2007, I went to go work for Ganley Bedford Imports as the manager of the Subaru store, then became the general manager, and then in 2017, took the leap and bought a Mazda store.
Wow, so first of all, I didn't realize the connection to Lee Seidman, so that's pretty cool. Secondly, so you've basically been around this business for quite some time, although this is almost like a second career for you.
Correct.
So how did you first decide, you know what, yeah, I want to have my own dealership? Because you're essentially betting on yourself. All chips are in.
Correct. It was weird. It was, I was with Ganley for about 10 years, and my business partner, Derek, came to me one Saturday, and he's like, hey, let's go grab lunch. He's like, listen, I'm thinking about getting into the new car, but I need someone with new car experience. You want to own a dealership? And I was like, sure, let's try it. Let's just jump in. Why not?
That's actually pretty cool. So you've got a dealership. All of a sudden, you hear about phone ninjas. So tell me how that introduction took place and what your initial thoughts were.
So obviously in the car business, one of our biggest weaknesses is the phones. For some reason, people seem to not be able to answer phones properly. And as much training as we can give them, it's a lot of time to do it. Chris Vitale reached out to me, with all his mass marketing, ninja marketing, and I called him up and I'm like, all right, let's give it a try. So he goes, it's a little bit different. Phone Ninja is a little bit different than most phone companies or other companies that do this. Phone Ninja isn't looking at every single call,
right,
and you're getting a million emails every time one little thing goes wrong. They take samplings of your calls, which is basically how we look at it, and they coach everyone on how to make better calls, monthly coaching. So I said, all right, let's try it. And it's actually a really great service for us, because now I have someone else that can train my salespeople along with my managers.
So how long then have you been using the Phone Ninja service?
3 years now.
3 years. And when it comes to the members of your team, how do you hold them accountable to some of the techniques that are being taught via the Phone Ninja's method?
So the greatest thing about it is now that we have these short blips that we can review with them, my manager, whenever they get an email or something like that, they'll sit down with them and coach and counsel them on it along with the coaching. And using the monthly coaching that you guys give, it makes it really easy now to be able to find their weak points, because it starts to be a pattern. When you kind of look at it, and Phone Ninja's grades on 5 or 7 different items that they're looking for, and it's usually the same item that they're missing, so we can coach them on that one item instead of trying to coach them on something they already are doing really well.
One of the things that we do here, people will sign up for the Phone Ninjas program and they expect immediate results, and sometimes they're quick to be like, you know what, this just isn't working for me, I'm just gonna give up. What do you have to say to those people who don't really give it a thorough chance?
It's not a I want it now type of thing. It's still training.
Right.
It's still ongoing. I'm not going to tell you that every single one of my employees is perfect on the phones. You're always going to mess up on the phones. It's a 6 to 8 month process to really get them understanding the script. Your salespeople are going to fight you on the script because it's not what they're used to, even though it's the exact same thing that we've been taught in the industry for millions of years. Now they're just fine-tuning it to be a lot more along the process of what we do here, which worked out really well. The Phone Ninja script really is a very transparent script that really focuses on what the customers need. We all know that the biggest complaint in the car business is not the price or the warranty, it's that we don't listen to customers' needs. And that initial phone call is like an initial meet and greet, and we're really getting it across that we really do care about their needs, and we're not just trying to set an appointment.
I think that in general change is hard, kind of like you mentioned with employees, but in terms of utilizing Phone Ninjas, how big of an impact would you say that it has had on making your dealership as successful as it is today?
It's a huge impact. Our appointments are up probably about 30% since we started using Phone Ninjas. Our appointment shows are actually up also, so not only are we getting appointments, we're actually getting people to show up.
Sure, which is a big deal. You said that there are other companies out there that you've tried before.
Correct.
And I would imagine Phone Ninjas just kind of blows them out of the water in terms of the results that you've seen.
They do. The personalized coach is great. You know, they're always available if someone needs or has questions on it. The training videos, the monthly certifications, you know, it's keeping it top of mind. You know, with most of these companies, they're just going to send you an email saying, all right, well, here's your transcript and this is what we recommend, but they're not telling you how to help you train it. And, you know, at one point, I got really frustrated because, you know, the employees, we couldn't get them on. And I made a phone call to Phone Ninjas, and they sent out, you know, Chris Shaughnessy, and he came out and kind of explained it a little bit better than we can, you know, on the script, what it's about. And since then, you know, it's been going really well. So they're always there to help and support you.
What does your typical advertising budget look like in a month? And not that you have to dive into any specific details, but what portion of your sales then would you say really is attributed to Phone Ninjas, if you can quantify that?
It's hard to quantify, but when you're looking at it, I mean, you know, with the amount of radio, TV, you know, internet, you know, emails, you know, our phones are ringing, and you know, and phones are still the best contact. When someone picks up a phone to call a dealership, they're pretty much wanting to buy a car. You know, we have to now make it so that they can buy the car, and that's what Phone Ninjas really helps us do. It's a huge part of the business. I mean, it really, the phones are probably the #1 thing that helps us sell most of our cars.
You know, it's interesting you talk about phones too, and I noticed the younger generation, like even my kids, they don't know how to answer phones. So I have to train them how to just say, hello, how are you? Please hold. So I would imagine that the Phone Ninja system in the business setting is just a wonderful feature to have.
It really is, because like you said, you know, most people, they want to text. Yeah. Everybody wants to text.
Yes.
I mean, here, listen,
Quick,
I'm not going to tell you that I answer my phone all the time. You know,
you
texting
did
is
for
so
me,
much
Jeremy.
The texting is so much easier, but you know, there's still people that want to talk on the phone. And talking is a very personalized versus, I mean, how many text messages have you sent out saying one thing and the person takes it meaning something completely different, right. And you're like, now they're not talking to you and you don't even know why they're not talking to you because they took it one way versus, you know, so phones are still a huge part of our business.
For anyone that's kind of on the fence or someone that says, hey, Jeremy, all right, let's be honest, should I use Phone Ninjas for my dealership? What do you have to say to them?
I mean, 100%. I mean, it's really, in a car business, we need someone to manage our phones. And you know, if you expect our managers to do it, great. Let's just add it to the list of the million things that we expect them to do. Follow up on leads, you know, follow up on the floor traffic. What are your salespeople doing? You know, let's get training on the phone. There's only so much time in the day, and you know, you can either hire Phone Ninjas or you can hire another employee, and it's much cheaper to hire Phone Ninjas and get the results that you're looking for.
Anything that you want to leave our viewers with?
I mean, just, you know, it's give it a try. I mean, it's absolutely a necessity in our business. You know, nobody is perfect on the phones. We're not expecting people to be perfect on the phones, but, you know, give it a try and see how much it increases your business.
Perfect. Jeremy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.